gonna go with minor illusion.
Our captain never fails.
Minor
Is never
illusion,
deceived.
firebolt, eldritch blast, and ray of frost.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, did you say that we became immune to it or resistant?
He's gonna...
Immune.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm fairly certain he said immune. I'm running out of places to put stuff.
I know.
All right. So the morning comes. As you awaken, you can see Thorin still sleeping, Raphael stirred about, Tatsia sitting there kind of still awake, Salatami still unconscious, Cremina slowly waking up but still lightly snoring.
Emus is completely passed out in the doorway. He is deaf to the world right now. He is tired.
So the morning comes, it's about 6 a.m. When Lady Avelina can wait no more. Memento. Oh, I don't have her as a special thing. A unique character that I can just pick out. Okay, here we go. So around 6:30 in the morning, Lady Evelina comes entering into the ruined temple, and she takes the hilt of her sword and taps on the stone.
Solid 11 hours of sleep. I'm okay with it. I would lift my head up and look at her all squinty, blurry-eyed.
I'm going to look up and go, already?
Agatha blinks her eyes open and sits up. She looks over at you, stretches, and kind of looks around, confused. Where are we?
Mm-hmm. We're in Mistra's, well, the remnants of Mistra's temple.
We're still in the Underdark?
Oh no. Your little demon friend got us out of there.
She kind of like nods with her mouth open a little bit. She looks over and you see Tammy kind of silently sit up, and kind of turn and just kind of look this way, like look with this very determined look in her eye. You note that she doesn't look haunted like she did yesterday, but there's like this fierce vision, like she has a new goal.
I'd probably grab her around the shoulders and there's our fierce little gnome.
Aww.
She's gonna turn and look at you. I need a workshop.
Yeah, hopefully they're done building the ship. We had one installed for you there. We just need to get the rest of it installed, which this cursed city was supposed to be our supplier.
She kind of turns with like an angry furrowed eyebrow cocked and looks over at Lady Evelina. Like kind of like almost like expecting Lady Evelina to procure those things for her. And Lady Evelina.
Oh, haven't you done it yet?
Lady Evelina looks down and looks up. Is now a good time for a meeting?
Well, seem like now is a good time and you're done waiting, so yeah, I suppose.
You see
Well-
her right foot kind of tapping on the stone. She goes, "No, of course. Lady of my statue has incredible patience."
I know, you trained for it. You're doing a very good job.
And her foot stops tapping. "Thank you. When you're all gathered, meet me by the doorway."
Are you going back there to get Emus and company, teachers and whatnot? Wait.
No,
is it-
I went back there to start eating.
As you're eating, Thorin stretches, wakes up, looks over. First thing he does is kind of check Tatsia from across the room, who's not sure seems a little bit better, as almost as if like on like a microscopic level, all those micro fractures inside his bones are slowly healing themselves. He seems like his arms are like they're not put together by any means yet, but they don't seem as noodly as they did the day prior. And after he gives it a quick once over, he's gonna reach over and try to snatch one of the pieces of bread that Boogie had grabbed from him. Is Boogie gonna resist it?
Oh no, not at all. You can have that bread.
Okay. He's gonna take it, look at you like kind of like a I'll fight you for it. And then he switches hands and like pushes you on the shoulder and takes a big bite of it, and then crosses his legs and leans back as if like everything in the world is good, hunky dory.
Ooh,
Raphael is just now waking up, hearing like all the eating around him. He sits there, pats himself off, gets himself into like kind of a cross-legged sit, and appears to enter into a meditation.
I would grab her a piece of bread while biting into it, talking around it, saying, Lady Avaluna has something to tell us. She's seeming pretty impatient, so we shouldn't keep her waiting for too long. But, I mean, she's probably had breakfast already. Somebody that looks like she's been awake for hours. We gotta eat, right?
You hear Thorin grumble, "I'm not bidden to be rushed." And he takes another bite of bread.
when she said right, I just kind of nodded just a bit to myself and kept eating.
You hear a very deep breath. His hands pat his lap, and Raphael stands up, exiting his meditation without eating, kind of like takes long steps over everyone, not stepping on everyone. Someone will have to be an adult. He just makes his way out towards Lady Evelina.
Can you wake up Bemis on your way out?
He gets to the door and he stops and looks in and he says, "Let the boy sleep." He's gonna step nimbly over Emus.
More bread for us.
Atzia's sitting there, he goes, "Bezoit."
Yeah.
And you hear his stomach. Would you mind? He opens his mouth for you to put a piece of food in his mouth.
And I grab some bread and put it to his mouth so he can take a bite.
Takes a big old bite. Ah.
Anything else you want up at this table? I got some cheese, some meat.
Some water would be fantastic.
So I pour him a glass of water and hold it to his mouth.
And he drinks it. Now let's just pray I don't have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, and I look over at Cal and I'm like, "That's all you."
On that note, I exit out the room.
Tatsi almost looks like the audacity, like, Bezoit, you're only a student.
Just kidding, just kidding. I'll help you if you need it.
I don't know the anatomy of dragon butt.
He kind of like wipes his mouth over on his shoulder and then looks over at Salatami and says, Bezoit, are you going to
Yes.
help him?
Is he still out?
You look over and he's still unconscious.
So when we left him, is he dead? Is
I
he
spared
making
the
life?
dying on him, but maybe he didn't heal. I don't really know what's wrong with him. I did all I could do. It's up to you, Paladin.
All right. I'm gonna walk over to Celatami, and I'm gonna lay hands, and I'm gonna to perform cure wounds, and he regains 2d8 plus 5. Do you want to roll, or do you want me to roll?
I'll roll. For 9 health. As you reach down,
That's all he got, plus 5.
Yeah, 9 health. As you reach down, and this force of radiance comes out of your palms, pulsing into him. You hear as he takes a breath, and his eyes slowly begin to open, and he looks dazed, and his eyes kind of have a hard time keeping all the way open, and they seem to like flinch heavily at the light getting through some of the cracked stone in the tower, to which he holds up his arm and kind of blocks his eyes out. Ah.
Easy now. Can you sit up?
After sitting, not seemingly in response to you saying sit up, after a moment of him blocking his eyes, he's going to keep them closed and angled away from where the light's coming in and sit himself up. And it's just like the sun is just starting to come up over into the brick. It's not like full day yet. And he seems pretty sensitive to it.
Okay, so I am gonna go over to the table, and I'm gonna gather a little bit of cheese and meat and a glass of water, and I'm going to bring it over to him, and I'm going to look around for a hat or a pair of glasses or something to shield his eyes. Do I find anything?
You're looking where?
I'm looking around our area, this bottom floor, to see if I can find a hat or glasses or anything to shield his
There's like
eyes.
old weather-worn covers that you could cut off.
Weather
and
worn
Weather-worn
what?
book covers that you could cut off and use as like a visor, I guess.
All right, I'm going to take some of that, and I'm going to walk over to Boogie and ask him if he could craft me up either a hat or a pair of sunglasses or something for Celatami. And explain to him that his eyes are very sensitive to the light.
Well, I'm not a tailor, but I can make a frame for something.
Okay, can you make like the bow for the hat? And I'll try to stitch what I can to it.
Okay, go ahead and draw the whatever that part's called, visor. Like all over the.
Okay. Make a calligraphy tools.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I'm drawing on my scroll.
Okay. Make a D20 and then add your proficiency, please.
17.
And this is the visor.
Yeah, making the part of the hat that would be hard.
Okay. You're able to visualize it pretty well. It comes out almost exactly how you imagine it, and the framework is very sturdy.
And then I would like to take the leather bound from the books and kind of stretch it over the visor. And once I complete that, I would like to take it over to Celatami and
So it's almost like a
gently,
circlet with a duck bill, I'm assuming.
yeah, and take it over and try to fasten it over his head to show him that it shields his eyes a bit. But I do it
Hey.
slowly so that he doesn't think I'm hurting him.
He relaxes after a moment, and it goes over his head, and he takes it, and he almost like like retired Marines or like baseball players who think they're cool. Like he takes it and puts it really low to where like all he'd be able to see is kind of like right in front of his feet where he's walking.
Okay.
And he keeps it on his head like that. And he's gonna pull up his cloak and bring it around, kind of covering the sides and covering himself up.
Okay.
And I'm just going to give him a thumbs up as I leave the food and ask Tatya, do you need anything else, teacher?
No, not unless nature calls. I'll be fine. Just give me a couple days. This dragon's heal.
Do you need help? Are you coming out to talk to Lady Evelina with us, or?
He's no. I'm not going anywhere for a few days, I'm afraid.
Okay. Call if you need me, and I'm going to head out to where Lady Evelina is.
And like as you get out the door, Thorin following you, you can already hear Tatsia kind of inquiring to something. So, boy, where is it that you're from? I guess you get just out the doorway. All right. What's everyone doing? Heading over to Lady Evelina?
Well, what's going
Emis is
on
still
with?
sleeping here in the hallway.
Yeah, what's going on with
Oh.
Tammy and Agatha? Are they still out? Are they hurt? What's going on with them?
They're awake now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're awake over there, sitting in the corner, kind of chilling out as Lady Evelina is waiting with Raphael and Boogie coming down the stairs. When Boogie came down the stairs, you would see Agatha look up at you and smile and kind of like almost like someone coming out of a hangover, like not really knowing exactly where she is or what's going on, but she's happy to see you. And Tammy gives you a quick look, this fierce determination in her eyes, with this kind of like furrowed eyebrow, determined look, and she just nods and then looks back and is in her head thinking about this creation she's conjuring up.
Nice.
So is nobody going to wake up Emus? Is he going to
Yeah.
miss this?
When you had started talking to Tatsia and he talked about the butt wiping, I had stepped out to wake up Emus, but I was letting that go on.
Okay.
So I would come up to him and nudge him with my boot. Emus. Emus. And then I would jump on him. Emus!
Ow! 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 I'm gonna get up really, really fucking sore and tenderly.
Mina startles awake and you see her jump into a kind of a battle stance and reach down, and she pulls out, there's nothing in her hands, but she gets in a formation as if she has her bow in her hands and like draws back, but there's nothing there, and then she looks.
After catching Kamina out of the corner of my eye, Emus is gonna go from trying to get up to he is up and he's trying to pull a weapon as well.
So he jumps down right on the Emus, and everyone gets into this paranoid battle stance. Carmina stands up all cocked, and after a moment of looking around, probably 2 seconds pass, and her shoulders are going to drop, and she's going to let go of her imaginary bow and kind of drop her arms to her side and close her eyes and take a deep breath.
I'm
I would
gonna be
probably laugh.
Emus is not gonna laugh. He's gonna scoop down and pick up the bundle he probably dropped of all Kamina's weapons.
of his poop.
Yeah. And then he's gonna kind of turn back to diplomacy. Yeah, sorry. What's up? What's going on?
Lady Avelina has some stuff she needs to talk to us about. She's growing impatient. Also, here's a hunk of bread for you too.
I'm gonna grab it and start just shoveling it down as fast as I can. Well, do I need to be there for that? I mean, someone's gotta watch her.
Smack him upside the head. She's coming too, dummy.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna turn to Camilla. Come on. I guess we're going.
And I'd walk in and hand her a piece of bread because I saw how ravenous he was eating that and not going to share.
Damn straight.
He reaches out and smiles and bows very gratefully. Thank you. And begins nibbling away at it. And with each bite, like taking them more and more, a bigger bite, kind of her hunger taking over her manners.
No, we eat that like that on a normal day.
As you
Emus
guys,
is
oh, go ahead.
Emus is gonna wait behind and make sure that he's following Camilla out, not letting her get behind him.
So she's going to come out and see that you're waiting and get ahead, and she moves out this way. You guys come out. Raphael is sitting there waiting, and Lady Avelina is pacing back and forth with her shield at her side and her hand on her hilt of her sword, just pacing back and forth. Her metal gauntlets on the stone.
I'd say we're all gathered if you want to come in and begin this meeting.
I remember any of it.
Oh, I'm sure you have a lovely memory.
Right. She closes her eyes. So, she wanted me to start off with, does anyone have any questions? I believe is what she wanted. She seems
Yeah.
like frazzled, like she didn't want to be the liaison here.
Emus is gonna step up for a second, still rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. How's the town doing? Is everyone recovering okay?
Yes. My head priestess and I spent most of the night going over the commoners and making sure there was no wounds. Luckily, the dragons didn't harm the people as much as they harmed.
Us?
She looks down. Yes.
Emus is gonna nod to that. Well, maybe maybe we should maybe we should donate the dragon meat to the town. Help feed them. Maybe have a little bit of feast to bring back some of the help raise morale.
Yes, sir. I feel the commoners might be ahead of you on that front, as they spent most of the night dissecting the dragons at the dismay of the Wizards Guild. They didn't want them in any kind of close proximity to the portal, but the people seemed rather esteemed to be dissecting those dragons.
The portal's still active?
They have it stable, but yes, they have been unable to get rid of it completely, I'm afraid.
I have several questions. First of all, do you know where Ferris is?
Yes.
Can we help him?
Well, he's dead.
Well, do we know when he died?
When Emus shocked him to death.
When Emus shocked him to death? Was that in the last 24 hours?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd
Would have
say
been,
so.
yes.
Less than 24.
Okay. Second question is, when are we going to get our memories back? I thought you told us to go to Mistress Tower. We were there. We still don't have our memories.
Oh, we are here. Yeah.
He looks down and kind of shrugs. I don't understand how you expect me to have that answer.
What can we do to get our memories back?
Are you mixing up Lady Ashina with Lady Avelina, who is what we are currently talking to?
No, because I asked earlier and he said it was Lady Avelina who told us to go to Mistress Tower.
For safety, not to get our memories back.
Oh, crap. Then yes, I am.
Some good news. The head wizard of the guild wants to extend his appreciation and gratitude. It appears that most of the people in the village saw what transpired last night, and you're heroes.
What
I
did
kind
they
of roll
expect us
my
to do?
eyes.
Stand by and let the town burn?
I'll let hundreds of people die.
It's unacceptable.
There's a lot of adventurers in this town, Sir Emus, and none but you would have been able to stout something of that level of. She looks down, kind of in frustration. I felt worthless.
Don't forget,
We aren't
you are.
normal.
Don't forget, don't forget. Don't feel worthless. You are still standing here today. Don't forget the countless of adventurers that came to our aid last night and are not standing with us today.
He nods. The tiefling's gonna make it.
Oh, good.
Well,
As of leadership, Lady Ashina wanted me to ensure the group that, or to tell the group that she is retaking claim of leadership as Lady of Shadowdale.
who was the dude
Oh,
that we
that's
first
relief.
met here for dinner who ruled this town?
Good question. I can't remember his name.
Let me go look at it. Let me go find it.
He was already dead in my mind.
Okay, I have a question that's in game and out of game because I'm not quite sure. So you guys might have to help me with this if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. When I leveled up, I had in my spell slot Aura of Life, preserving energy. And anybody that's in my circle, once I cast it, they're resistant to necrotic damage. Their hit points can't be reduced, and creatures will regain 1 hit point when it starts its turn in the aura with 0 hit points. So if I did that to Ferris, it says that, no, I'm sorry. I gave you the completely wrong one. Gentle Repose. I can put copper and salt on each one of his eyes, and he can't become undead for 10 days. Does that mean that that gives us enough time to...
No, undead is not the same as dead. So you're basically if you did that, you prevent someone from converting him into an undead creature and that walks around and like a skeleton or a zombie.
But actually, as I remember the way Gentle Repose works, you can totally use that in order to extend whatever the time is for reviving. So, if he hadn't got all mangled and stuff, then, which I'm not sure how bad off he is, we could use, like, if there was something that had just 12 hours of time frame since getting killed, we could cast that on him now, and we'd have 10 days to cast something within the 12-hour time frame. As I remember,
That's
how
all
the
I
spell works.
have. That's all I have, I think, for that, except for the Aura of Life. But I don't know, does that give him 1 hit point for somebody else to heal him, or... I guess what I'm asking is do you guys want me to try to save Ferris?
You can go ahead and do it if you want. If the whole point, if the preserving the body holds true, so we can.
It does hold true for that first, the Gentle Repose.
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. 1 moment, though.
Actually,
Okay, it's not concentration.
we could
Next
cast
question
that
is...
on a few
What?
people.
But do they have to remain laying there with it on their eyes for the duration for the spell to work? Or once it's completed and the spell is enacted for the 10 days, can we move the corpse and it's okay if that stuff falls off of him?
I was under the impression we could move them, but that the pennies had to stay on the eyes. But I don't know.
Says I touch a corpse or other remains. For the duration, the target is protected from decay and can't become undead. It effectively extends the time limit on raising the target from the dead, since days spent under the influence of this spell don't count against the time limit of spells such as raise the dead.
Yeah.
So he has to lay there prone while I'm touching him?
Well, I mean, he's not going to get up and start walking around.
No, I understand that, but I can't sit here for 10 days
Without
either.
Nico
No,
around.
It doesn't require that, I don't believe. It's just the initial touch. I was talking about the component part of it.
So
Uh,
I'm guessing none of you guys have raised the dead. So I'm going to look over
Uh,
at Lady Evelina and
that's-
say,
that's a different thing than what we want, I believe. Let me look.
right, but we only have 10 days. And I don't know if we're going to even be back here in this town in 10 days. So I guess what I'm asking is, if I do this, is there somebody else here that can raise him? As I look over at Lady Evelina, uncertain that my team has it.
You know, I was thinking about different spells that could help Nico out. There's a level 5 resurrection that gives him an entirely new body. It'd be a random race. So who knows if he'd be a tiefling or a underdwarf.
It's kind of the problem we ran in with Abraham, though, was he felt disconnected from it and controlled by it.
Right. But I think that this would be a much better situation for him because the body will have just been made for him.
But I don't get level 5 until 17. So 3 more levels. That's quite a while. I'm just asking my.
Don't stress about it too much. I'm sure there's services that we have plenty of money. I'm sure there's services we can find where we can resurrect him. If we just go out and like ask the town, maybe townsfolk, they have anyone in town that can provide those services.
So do you guys think that I should do gentle repose or not?
I think you should. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We could even do it on another couple adventures in the crater too.
Well, no, because that takes up a spell slot for me. And I don't want to be using up all my spell slots, you know? God only knows what we're going to get into. And I've already used up one to heal Tommy. And this would take up 2.
I don't have any, like, my notes are not clear on this. I think Lord Lyran was the guy's name, if my notes are correct, but they're not very, like, it doesn't say Lord of Shadowdale, Lord Lyran. So I'm gonna go with Lord Lyran though, because I think that's the case. I was looking up your previous question about who the Lord was.
Oh, that does not.
Doesn't sound
I
right.
don't recall that name.
Let me check out the.
Oh,
I mean, I can look
at
it
my
up.
notes.
It's not super important. I can look up the video and find the exact name. But
Oh, man.
at this point in time, I don't think it's a game stopper. We don't need to stop and. Unless you want me to.
Lord Barnett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord Barnett poisoned us via the food that he served at his pretentious dinner parties in my notes.
So is Lord Burnett still around? Has there been any, so Ian, this is has there been any word from Lord? Anything happened to him?
He looks over at you and says, Lord Barnett's manor is completely empty. All his servants, him, everything is gone.
Well, I think I know where I'm headed to next, and as I go to walk out the door.
Okay, Amos just leaves.
I'm going to walk out the door. I mean, stop me. Somebody stop me.
Lady Evelina, is there anything else that you need us to do or to know?
Villagers were wanting to hold a feast in your honor, and the headmaster of the Wizards Guild wants to grant his reward upon you for saving the town. And, in his words, ridding us of that crooked bastard, she says, kind of quoting him.
It was honestly all our pleasure.
Upon hearing that, Emus is going to pause and turn around and face back, and he's going to reach out. He's going to reach into one of his pockets, and he's going to produce 200 gold pieces, and he's going to offer them to the lady and say, "Here, see if you can hire about 24 folks to meet me at Lord Barnett's old house, and we shall set the stage for a grand feast and hopefully some relaxation after yesterday's events."
All right, hold on, let me write this down. You want to at Lord Barnett's old manor tonight?
So yeah, I'm giving her 200 gold pieces to basically hire 24 people to meet me at the manor, which I plan on directing them in tearing down anything they want, setting it up for a grand feast for the entire city to show up and partake.
Just a quick question before we plan this. Is that just the Lord's manor always? Like whoever is now head of the city, so we would now just be deciding to go into Lady Ashina's home with this party?
That's a good question, actually. I was
That
thinking,
has always been the case. It's not the traditional manner of Shadowdale. The one prior was much more modest, and exists in the old wizard or in the wizard's quarters now. But the new manor, yes, was created by Lord Barnett and is claimed upon by the Lord of Shadowdale.
I
Or the
don't think
Lady of
Lady
Shadowdale.
Ashina will mind us going through and cleansing it of its evils.
Okay.
Speaking of hiring people, she says, tossing the bag of coins and then hooking it to her belt. Lady Ashina was very adamant that she thinks there's too much to be done for you to take on alone, and she thinks that we need to start delegating tasks and calling on resources.
What do you think the gold pieces are for?
I think she means for some of our higher stuff, like collecting the rest of
I
these
know.
relics. Oh, okay.
I know.
That being said, she said, to those ends, anything that Lord Barnett has in his coffers is yours.
Well, we best go secure it before someone else does.
I'm afraid it's under lock and key, and we are unable to find the location of said key. We fear he may
Great.
have taken it with him when he left.
Well,
think
do
we
we know
have
where the
the key.
lock is?
You have the
Um,
key.
Yeah. He turned into a dragon and we killed him.
She pauses for a second, leans forward. Of course he did, and of course you did. Very well. Is there anything else that you need of me?
Just come back if you need any more coin to set up a proper festive. As somber as it might be, let's keep it humble. We want to honor those who have fallen, but we want to try to bring back some of the joy of this city as best we can.
Are you hoping for an evening event?
I think so. Looking around.
Whatever the townspeople feel is best. I'm in not a super rush. I would like to go talk to the wizard down at the seam opening thingamajig of danger.
I would like to know the location of Ferris, and on my way to Ferris, I would like to see what I can collect from the wizards that we disposed of.
Varys's body is where it looks over at Kamina. It was left. I did place a minor protective magical barrier around it to preserve it as much as I could, but I didn't want to move it.
Maybe that's something that you and I should attend to then, sister.
Yes, and she looks past towards Tammy and Agatha. Is there any other aid that needs to be given here, I wouldn't mind checking the young gnome out.
Yeah, she seems pretty feisty. She was shocked yesterday, but I think a lit a fire under her butt and she just wants to invent stuff, but you can check her out.
Tammy meets her
you
gaze, hearing like the soft spoken but not being able to hear all across the room what's being said. And Tammy shoots her like this scowl, having a suspicion. And Lady Evelina kind of backs off. Very well. If you need anything from me, please, I am at your mercy. We need to delegate as much as we can and get as much done as we need to get done.
How about this? Crimea and I will go and collect Varys and see what must be done with him, and we shall. That's our task, and I will. After that, we will head to the keep, where hopefully we meet some new employees, and we'll start with, putting together resources and festivities, and I'll work on what can be done with Varys. And if there's anything else anyone else wants to do.
Well, I'm confused because I thought Bezoit was going to do that gentle repose to make him last 10 days longer.
Right. That doesn't mean that Crimea and I can't go collect him and bring him to the keep, though.
Yeah.
So we can collect him and then meet back at the keep.
Bring a dead body to the keep where the party's going to be.
Well, we're not going to
Back
put him
room,
on
you savage.
Yeah, we don't have to put him on display.
He's our centerpiece. Just
He
put
has an
some
apple,
flowers
apple
around
in his
him.
mouth, an apple in his crispy, charred, lightning charred skin mouth.
Jeez.
Emus just holding him up like a trophy. You guys see what I did? I slept well last night knowing this happened.
How much XP did I get for that kill?
Oof.
And then Varys comes back and Emus de-levels one because he loses the XP from Varys. Kill him again. All right, so as Emus and Cremina leave, Cremina kind of silently following, not wanting to provoke her brother, feeling like,
No. She's not following. She's leading. I'm following her.
oh, well, she would initially be following you, and then when you stop around and insist that he goes first, she would do so, being subservient and trying to gain your trust, I guess.
Yeah.
And while they're heading down towards Varys, what's everyone else doing?
Bezoit, can I borrow that ring? The one for communication?
She did message me and said that she was going poop, but she did say she could respond if needed, so I don't know why she's not responding.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted, and I am back. I have a purple ring that will talk telepathically.
Yes.
Is that the ring?
Yes.
Sure. So I hand it over to Boogie.
Thank you. So
You're welcome.
I use it, and first I test at Bezoit. I say to her telepathically, "Can you respond to me?"
And in my mind, I say, yes, I can.
And then I say out loud, "Thanks." And then I think to my sword, "Can you respond to me?"
Interesting.
Ordinarily, it's able to communicate using its emotions, or else I can just feel whatever its emotions are. But maybe with telepathy, it can. So let's find out.
You hear in the back of your mind, ah, a pleasure. We can become more acquainted now. How nice to hear a new voice.
Yay, finally! I
Interesting.
say that out loud. And then
I look over at Boogie and I say, "You find something that you needed?"
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my sword here for a little bit. I sit down.
I'm gonna give him the thumbs up and head out the door towards the sorcerers.
Oh yes, Boogie, odd as always.
Lady Evelina kind of looks at the scene and kind of just does an about face on her heels and marches away where they're going. Just exasperated by the events of the day. Maybe the chosen not being exactly what she had in her mind.
Yeah, she's all professional, and we're just like hodgepodge crazy guys.
Okay. She heads off downtown. She'd be trailing behind Cremina and Emus, who, as you get down, passing the empty manor and the empty camp, like the guard camp, you and Cremina would come through this little corridor, and you would see these three wizards in a kind of a triangle formation, all casting this spell coming out of a staff they're each holding that's channeling towards the top of the portal, and then creating the kind of this like oval orb around the portal that seems to be kind of glowing this really light green, shimmering light, um, all chanting incantations, while Oliver seems to be speaking to someone else down here, who has like these. It's this kind of elvenish looking, kind of half elf looking guy, but he has these goat horns growing out of his head that kind of circle around over to his shoulders. That Oliver's sitting there talking about, and it appears like they might be getting into like a little bit of an argument, but trying to keep it professional.
Real, just out of curiosity, I'm gonna use. Can I use my Mr. Vision to look at the scene and see what I can see?
Sure. What are you looking at? Anything specifically, or just kind of a
I'm-
vague overview?
Yeah, I'm just looking at everything in front of me, all the people, the portal.
So as you activate your Mr. Vision, you actually feel something akin to what had happened last night in your dream, where you're seeing a lot of the same colors and everything that you see representing stuff through your Mr. Vision, but you seem to have a little bit more of an understanding of what it means, and you can see this negation magic being channeled out of these casters around the portal, and you can see this energy that is emitting out of this portal that you can almost immediately identify as